Euro crisis, economic crisis, financial crisis, debt crisis, recession, and unemployment. Europe in a state of crisis. People are suffering, especially in the southern European countries. Youth is affected the most. While there are some demonstrations and strikes, there's a lot of resignation as well. A resignation with Europe and a resignation with its democratic ideals as well. People are getting the impression that markets and economy are defining politics and not their representatives in Parliament. Thus, the crisis of Europe leads to a crisis of democracy. The results of the elections for the European Parliament in May 2014 made that clear. Right-wing parties made considerable gains. For example, in the UK, Denmark, Greece, France, and Hungary. But is that all the news that comes from Europe nowadays? What could be signals of its relevant stakeholders which point to a different direction? The way is more participation, especially of the youth. We need to reinvent the democratic base of Europe by strengthening its core. Participation of the citizens. Participation is much more than filling the ballot boxes every once in a while. It has to take place in all parts of public life. So participation has to be amplified. And these are our recommendations how and where. 1. Participation today takes place in various forms and arenas. Young people participate massively in their daily life, but not always in the ways expected by institutional and political actors. Participation could be political, social, individual, virtual, and can take place, for example, in community life, education, work, public space, or the civil society. Therefore, look outside of the ballot box when you look for youth participation, because we need to promote a wider understanding of participation as a concept of experiencing public and political influence on daily life issues. 2. Learning to be a democratic citizen is the key factor for participation. Therefore, educational settings like kindergarten, school, training, or work should be the base of a lifelong and life-wide democracy learning. Schools as well could be new partners. Learning participation should be part of a holistic education for democracy. To support a participatory mindset and educational approach, schools need to strengthen their students' abilities to discuss topics, to question standpoints, and to find their own solutions to solve a problem. In order to strengthen youth structures, a genuine institutional and long-term support for the work of youth NGOs at all levels is necessary. Different opportunities for public deliberation experiences have to be possible. They should activate an internal consensus that everyone has the same right to have a say and to be heard as well. There is a need to personalize politics. Stakeholders need to make the effort to explain what politics has to do with the individual life. 3. It takes a whole society to rear a Democrat. The administration should communicate clearly when it is possible or not possible for young people to get involved in participation processes. Decision makers should outline clear conditions and procedures for participation processes and require them to be transparent and accountable. Participation should also reach the most vulnerable and excluded groups of young people through information and learning activities. 4. There are many good examples and approaches. Make use of them. For example, share and foster peer learning on all levels. Document good practices in relevant databases, and showcase these good practices during relevant European events. And of course, use mentoring and other supportive approaches to engage young people in democracy. To inform about participation opportunities, a combination of old and new media should be used. 5. A few things yet to know. We need a better theoretical understanding of youth participation. For example, the need of more in-depth qualitative research on youth political participation to better get to know out-of-the-box forms of political participation. So Europe, open up for more youth participation. What about a European Youth Takeover Day? Young people would shadow decision makers and have a lively insight into politics. Open the parliaments. Have a young mayor co-manage with an adult mayor, or a youth group take over the board of an NGO. For just 1 day per year, everywhere in Europe to start with. Amplifying democratic participation is the best way to reinvent Europe. Let's give youth participation a boost.